Welcome, Mountaineers. I am so glad to have all you App State juniors and seniors here today for MKT 3235. I am absolutely pumped to be your guide this semester. Listen, together we're going to make a huge shift. We're taking you from being just everyday consumers of social media to becoming strategic, expert marketing professionals. We're going to build a foundational blueprint that you can take straight from campus right here in Boone directly into your post-grad careers. Let's jump right in. Okay, I want to start by challenging a habit I know we all have. Think about your daily scrolling on TikTok or Instagram. We constantly see videos pulling in millions of views, right? And it's so easy to think, wow, that business must be absolutely raking it in. But honestly, ask yourself, why do some wildly viral posts generate absolutely zero sales? The cold, hard truth is that views do not automatically equal revenue. If a piece of content doesn't connect a very specific audience to a specific business goal, well, it's really just digital noise. So to fix that disconnect, we need a system. Here's our game plan for today's explainer. First, building the foundation. Second, choosing channels. Third, metrics that matter. And fourth, your career blueprint. Let's kick things off with Section 1, building your strategy foundation.
The absolute golden rule of inbound marketing is this. If you're talking to everyone, you're effectively talking to no one. And that brings us to a concept you're going to use for the rest of your careers, the buyer persona. Basically, a buyer persona is a representation of your ideal customer. But, and this is key, we aren't just looking at basic demographics like age or income. We have to dig way deeper into psychographics. What actually motivates them? What online shops are they hitting up? What objections do they have before they finally hit buy? Knowing all this entirely dictates your content mix and, crucially, which platforms you actually choose to invest your time and budget in.
Let's look at a local Boone favorite to really picture this, Appalachia Cookie Co. They're the perfect example. On one hand, we have a late-night App State student cramming for midterms in Belk Library. Their main motivation? Immediate sugar and serious stress relief after trekking up those endless campus stairs all day. They're probably going to respond best to a late-night TikTok promo or a super quick Instagram story. But on the other hand, we have the alumni parent. They're looking to send a nostalgic care package to their kid. Their motivation is all about care and connection, so they might be reached best through a really thoughtful Facebook ad or an email newsletter. It's the exact same product, but two completely different personas that require two completely different marketing approaches. The sheer beauty of really understanding your persona is that it allows you to compete with the giants. As Jason Hatzio from Animoto points out, social media has really kind of changed everything. It completely leveled the playing field for businesses of all sizes. Think about it. In the past, you needed a massive TV advertising budget just to reach people. Today, inbound, one-to-one marketing is just as viable for a 10-person business right off King Street as it is for an international powerhouse like Dior. You don't have to wait around for people to find you anymore. You take your message directly to where their conversation is already happening. But listen, just finding them isn't quite enough. The absolutely crucial pivot here is aligning that buyer persona to actual business objectives. And we do this using SMART goals. You've probably heard it before. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. If your goal is just to get more popular, well, good luck securing an executive budget for that. But if your goal is, say, reach 250,000 college students by Q4 and convert 5% into email subscribers, boom, now you have a framework that transforms passive viewers into actual trackable buyers. Okay, so now that we know exactly who we're targeting, let's move to part 2, choosing your social channels. Now, the absolute biggest mistake young marketers make is getting married to their own personal favorite platform. You absolutely must go where your specific persona's intent lives, not just where you personally like to scroll on a Tuesday night. Looking at the vast platform landscape, Facebook offers incredible hyper-targeted advertising tools and highly engaged groups. Instagram is your absolute powerhouse for deep visual engagement and shopping. Just think of how a brand like Mass General Store leverages those beautiful visuals of the high country to tell their story. Then you have LinkedIn, which is your go-to for business-to-business thought leadership and lead generation. And TikTok? It is just unparalleled for fast-paced, algorithmic virality and showcasing brand ethos through engaging challenges. The takeaway here? You do not need to be everywhere. You just need to be exactly where your customer is. Now, what's really interesting is the platform we so often forget about. As Chad Rogers notes, Pinterest is a massive strategic blind spot for so many marketers. It actually drives an incredible amount of web traffic, and crucially, women who hold up to 80% of household buying power make up the vast majority of its user base. Plus, the average lifespan of a pin is over 3 months. Compare that to just mere minutes on Twitter or maybe an hour on Facebook. It is an absolute engine for referral traffic and long-term SEO.
Moving right along, let's hit section 3, metrics that actually matter.
As you step into agency roles or maybe even build your own businesses, you have got to stop thinking about just likes and really start thinking about ROI. We need to starkly contrast these two concepts. On one side, we have vanity metrics, followers, likes, page views. Look, they look great on a presentation and they definitely feed the ego, but they rarely pay the rent. On the other side, we have actionable key performance indicators, or KPIs. These are your lead conversions, your direct sales revenue, and your customer lifetime value. These actionable metrics are what actually secure executive buy-in, prove the real value of your campaigns, and positively affect the bottom line. Jacqueline Babb brings a fantastic reality check here. Follower quality will always, always be quantity. Let's look at another local example, Stick Boy Bread Co., right? If they have 1 million followers from across the globe, hey, that's a nice vanity metric. But what they really need to survive is foot traffic. A tightly engaged community of 5,000 Watauga County residents who actually walk through the door and buy cinnamon rolls every single Tuesday is infinitely more valuable to them than a massive, totally unengaged audience. Your metric simply must match the business reality.
To keep your metrics organized, just remember these 4 core categories of social media KPIs. First up is reach. This is where you track awareness through impressions and share of voice. Next, you have engagement. This tracks active interest, so things like comments and inbound website links. Third is ROI, tracking the direct financial impact through sales and lead conversions. And finally, retention. This tracks loyalty and customer service excellence through resolved issues and net promoter scores. Each one of these buckets serves a completely different primary business objective.
All right, let's move to our fourth and final section, your marketing career blueprint.
Look, understanding the theory is great, but structuring it into a scalable plan, that is what actually gets you hired. I want to reassure you with this statistic. Nearly 62% of marketers do social media on top of other duties. When you graduate, you might start on a tiny team, or you might even be a marketing department of one. And yeah, that can feel pretty daunting. But having the scalable structural blueprint we're discussing today will absolutely be your ultimate competitive advantage in the job market. It proves to employers that you aren't just posting pictures, you are actively managing a strategic business channel. So grab your notes because here is the exact concrete roadmap you should follow for structuring a social media team. And frankly, it's the exact roadmap you're going to need to follow for your MKT 3235 final project. Step 1. Plan your 1 to 3 year overarching business goals. Step 2. Identify the necessary roles based on those specific goals. Step 3. Develop a totally realistic timeline for execution. And Step 4. Evangelize your plan. Show it to stakeholders, pitch it with absolute confidence, and prove exactly how your strategy drives their desired results.
I want to leave you with this final empowering thought as we wrap up today's explainer. You have the foundation, you know the channels, and you understand the metrics that actually matter. So how will you shape the conversation for your first client? I want you to take these tools, apply them to your projects this semester, and build strategies that drive actual, real-world impact. Let's make it a fantastic semester, Mountain Noise. I'll see you in the next session.